Hi, all, I'm Pimenta here. I want to talk about a common pattern that I see when people experience a relapse or a dip. So often when people are feeling good physically, they are feeling good emotionally. So they're in a positive state. And when they're in a dip, they tend to generate frustration, worry, anxiety. They tend to catastrophize. So it's really important that we address this. So why is it important? Well, number one, if we activate the fight or flight mechanism, otherwise known as fight, flight, freeze, then it has certain impacts on the body. Firstly, our energy production and storage is affected. The body stops producing and storing energy, so we don't have reserves of energy. It affects our thinking. The part of the brain where we do clever thinking is switched off. It affects our digestion. The blood leaves the digestive tract because the brain and body think we need to run away from a threat or fight. And so our digestion is suppressed. We're not using food effectively. If we keep doing this, this can cause digestive problems. It affects our sleep. We only experience light or interrupted sleep because the brain is thinking that we need to be on alert in case there's a threat. And immune function is suppressed. We're more likely to get a cold according to research. The second impact is that it actually is slowing recovery. If we are in fight or flight, because of all those things I've just talked about, it's going to take longer for the body to recover. And because we've used up all that energy generating frustration, stress, etc., then it's going to affect how much we recover. Maybe we'll only reach here, whereas actually if you think about it, if we didn't generate all that stress, it might be that we ended up recovering to a higher level. So what do we need to do about this? We need to identify the drivers. Firstly, what is causing the dip, the relapse? That's a whole other topic. But we also need to address the drivers. What is driving the frustration, the stress when we are actually in the dip? So for one person, it might be that they're an achiever, so they generate frustration. For another person, it might be they have a tendency to worry and catastrophize. And sometimes people address those things really quickly and that helps them make progress. Other times when I'm working with someone, it takes a bit more work. But by practicing more useful responses when we get in a dip, instead of responding in this unhelpful way, with practice, we can learn to respond in more useful ways. And by doing that, it does open the possibility to an upwards trend. So for example, when I had MECFS, I was a worrier. I did tend to generate lots of frustration and catastrophize when I had a dip or relapse. I learned to go with the flow. So it is possible to be relaxed when we are in a dip. So what's interesting is some people are actually generating stress and worry, anxiety when they're relatively good, but they're also generating stress and worry, etc., when they're in a dip. And if we're doing that, it's more likely that we're just going in the wrong direction. Some people are in a good state when they are feeling good, but they do generate worry, stress, anxiety, etc. when they're in a dip. At best, maybe that's just going to keep them in this pattern where they don't really see much improvement. Alternatively, we can take this kind of approach where we're managing to maintain, to the best of our ability, either a relaxed state, might be a mindful approach. And I'd ask you the question, which is more likely out of those to help us make progress move forward? I've seen many clients by adopting this approach. I was working with a client today who's been embracing this approach, taking good care of themselves, influencing their physiology and seeing the progress. So I've told the story before that when I had MECFS, one time I actually went clubbing and I was tired afterwards, but I was so happy that I'd spent 2 or 3 hours having fun. I was really okay about just lying in bed for the next few days, or might have been a bit longer, can't remember, because I just enjoyed myself. So there are other pieces that need to be addressed. As I mentioned in this video, it's really important that we address the boom and bust pattern. And all these pieces together, in my experience, can help people to make progress. If you've got any questions, do post them below. Otherwise, I'll say thanks for watching, wishing you great health. Bye for now.